Hi everyone, this is the second podcast for the website. This is Eloise and I'm speaking to Gary Trowsdale from Count Me In. Hello Gary.
Hi Eloise.
Basically, can you just explain to the listeners what Count Me In does? How did you start?
Well, Count Me In was actually set up by the Damalola Taylor Trust. We have been working with a group called Families United. Families United are a family collective, effectively, of families who have been affected, very sadly, by youth crime. The five founder families were Richard Taylor's family, the families of Ben Kinsella, Jimmy Mizzen, Robert Knox, and David Adaru. And they've all come together to create this collective. So this idea for Count Me In really was theirs. So the Damalola Taylor Trust have launched it for them.
And is there anything you're doing at the moment as part of Count Me In?
Well, what we've done with Count Me In, really, Count Me In, we've asked young people. I mean, the name, the purpose behind the name is that we're asking young people, the positive majority of young people, because we all know that this very sort of unfortunate cycle of youth violence we've been seeing, it's a very, very small feral minority that's responsible for it. The vast majority of our young people in this country, and specifically in London, are really, really positive young people. And so most campaigns tend to try and aim their messages at the feral minority. We've not done that with this campaign. What we're asking is for the positive majority of young people to step up to the plate behind the families to say, look, we've had enough of this, condemn knife violence, and in doing so say, count me in, together we can stop knife crime. That's where the name for the project came from.
And you have a Facebook group, which is facebook.com/countmein.
Yes, that's right. That's basically what we're using as a meeting point. So that's where the group is. That's where the whole campaign is gathering momentum from. We've got 36,000 members of the group now, but it's quite an interactive group. Facebook groups tend to be quite passive. What we're finding with these young people that are signing up to this group is they're very much interacting with each other. And we're now looking to create a Count Me In coalition, and that'll be sort of like-minded organisations around the United Kingdom, all of whom have got a focus on positive youth. So we've just signed up the Young Advisors charity. The Young Advisors charity can be found at www.youngadvisors.org. And the Young Advisors, who have groups all around the country, they're going to be now admins for the group, and they're going to be promoting positive activity all around the UK.
Tell us exactly what you've been interacting with the government as of late.
Yep.
What talks have been done in terms of decreasing knife crime?
Well, I mean, obviously the Damalola Taylor Trust, and Richard Taylor specifically was the Prime Minister's envoy for youth violence and knife crime over the last 12 months. And he's just finishing a report that we're helping him put together. I'm actually managing director of the Damalola Taylor Trust. So we are putting this report together for the government, which, although we worked with them, is quite challenging because we don't think enough really has been done or is being done. We're very much we're advocating stronger sentencing because we do think there does need to be deterrence. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, there also needs to be options. There needs to be other ways of engaging young people. Certainly in some of the tough inner city areas that we deal in, we've got to give them options and opportunities to turn away from a life of crime.
Okay. Is there anything you're planning on doing in the future, or anything that's just been talked about?
Well, there's lots of talk, especially when it comes to politicians. And I think we're all probably at the point now, we've had a stomach full of this election already. Lots of voices making lots and lots of noise. What we want to be doing, what we're dedicated to doing, is working with young people and letting them shape their own future through us actually listening to what they've got to say. So what we're doing with Count Me In is we're looking at it becoming a movement of positive young people, and we want the whole shape of this campaign to actually be moulded by young people themselves. So we're working with the Young Advisors, as I say. We're listening to all the young people that are signing up on the Facebook page to the Count Me In campaign, and when this election is over and we get a government in place again, we'll be going back to the relevant government bodies like the Home Office, like the Department of Children, Schools and Families, and we'll be saying to them, let's listen to what the young people are saying. Let's listen to what the positive majority of young people want to see happen, and then let's put some funding in place to make Count Me In a really, really positive campaign that's got achievable goals and objectives.
Well, thank you very much. Is there, if anyone wants to get involved, as we said before, there's the Facebook group. On the website, there's a link as well if anyone's interested in being involved. But thank you very much, Gary. I appreciate this interview.
Thank you, Eloise, and thank you for being one of the positive majority.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
And you. Bye.